All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Brewery Ommegang, and they're out of Cooperstown, New York, and this is their Nitro Three Philosophers. So they're calling this one a quadruple ale, and underneath that it says a blend of quadruple ale and Kriek ale with cherries, and it's also in a nitro can. It comes in at 9.7% alcohol by volume, 21 IBUs at the time of review. This can is just under 4 months old, and it also has a best by date of July 23rd of 2024. So according to the brewery, we should be fine, although on their website they do say drink fresh, so it is what it is. Anyway, this is the newest member of the Three Philosophers family. They have released so many different variants and barrel-aged versions of Three Philosophers. I've reviewed a lot of them on the channel. I did a side-by-side of the base, the bourbon barrel-aged, and the wine barrel-aged releases. That was an awesome video. I think it was for my 700th review. Maybe it was my 800th. It was one of the two. I've also reviewed their blueberry coffee variant, their double chocolate variant. Yeah, Three Philosophers is what they're known for, and I've always enjoyed the beer. I've never been wowed by it. It's good. It's a well-made American quadruple ale, or Belgian-style quadruple ale. Now, I will say that the Nitro is going to be interesting because I've never really had an issue with like the body and mouthfeel of this beer, but I've always had an issue with the aromatics not being all that pungent. And with Nitro, a lot of times the aromatics aren't that pungent. So if it makes the aromatics even worse, that's gonna be weird, but at the end of the day, whatever. I'm here for it. So anyway, it says wait, pour hard into glass. Invert can 3 times, pour hard into center of glass, sit back, ponder, and enjoy the show. All right, so we'll invert it 3 times. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. I don't know why I'm not showing it to you, and that's 3. And we will crack it and pour it. Right down the center. It didn't seem to open all the way based on what I'm seeing here. Just let this just chill out here. Hashtag label out. Now I have a Brewery Ommegang glass that I'm not using because I don't think it would be able to hold this entire thing. This glass, on the other hand, will. So no hashtag proper glassware. Well, as we wait, it says wait, ponder, and wait. What I'm going to do here, so I'm going to read the back. It says rich and complex. This Tour de Force, not France, is a blend of a quadruple ale and authentic Belgian Kriek. I think it's Leafman's Kriek, with its malty depth and gentle sweetness. Enjoy the mesmerizing pour with its smooth cascade of bubbles that lends a lustrous creaminess to enhance the touch of cherry. The perfect beer for leisurely sipping and quiet contemplation. To ponder the profound. Okay, Ommegang, I'm going to need you to settle right down and just rein it in just a touch. Anyway. Yeah, so that's done, and that looks fucking gorgeous in the glass. Hold it up to the light, has this nice, like, ruby red kind of just beauty look to it. On camera, it's probably going to look like a dark red or maybe even a dark brown or even pitch black. My camera sucks. A finger of a just pure on tan colored head that looks infinitely creamy because it is. It's nitro. And, yeah, I mean, there's no clarity here. There's decent haze to it. Looks beautiful. Let's get a nose. Yeah, that actually has a nice nose. So I should have went back and see, to the review of Three Philosophers. With Three Philosophers, you get a lot of cherry, got a lot of dark fruits, things of that nature, spiciness to it. In the nose, the cherry screaming. It's a dark cherry. It's sweet, like, I won't say maraschino, but it's like a sweeter cherry. It's a dark cherry, like maybe like a Bing cherry. Underlying, like, I'd say like fig, date, something of that, like a dried fruit, maybe like a dried fig. A little bit of vanilla, and then there's spicy. There's a spicy component that's like kind of like your baking spices or like your pumpkin spices, like a little bit of like an allspice in here. Coriander, clove, touch of vanilla. It's a nice yeast component to this one that if you've never had a Belgian beer, it's tough to say. A lot of times Belgian beers, and even German yeast will, with the banana, with the Belgian beers, you'll get bubblegum a lot of times. I'm just getting like a generic Belgian kind of yeast component. You could say bubblegum, you could say banana, you could say something in that realm. Slight funkiness to it. Maybe a whisper of like a dark, very dark, like 70-80% cacao bar chocolate. Yeah, It smells really, really good. I got to eat my words from earlier. I thought this was going to be worse. I thought this was going to be worse than the regular Three Philosophers from a nose standpoint, just because of my experience with nitro beers. And I must say, that is not the case. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Thing about nitro beers, and I've had some comments recently. It's basically nitro. It's 70% nitrogen and 30% CO2. So the beer is not flat. It's just not as carbonated as a regular beer. And the nitrogen produces the small bubbles that makes everything infinitely creamier and just smoother. So a lot of times people will drink a nitro beer and just assume that it's flat, and it's not. It's just not as carbonated as a regular beer. So just want to throw that out because I've gotten a lot of comments recently. But I get where people are coming from, because I'm sipping something like this, and comparatively speaking to regular Three Philosophers, this is flat. But it's not. It's just super smooth and creamy on the palate. So body on this one, 9.1%. Or is it, did I say 9.7? Yeah, it's like touch over medium body. Maybe we'll say higher side of medium body. Bit thin. The mouthfeel, again, I get more of like a spritzy carbonation with regular Three Philosophers. This is like mildly carbonated, obviously. But it's so smooth and creamy, like it's nitro, and I see that word nitro, and I'm thinking smooth, creamy, just velvety, smooth on the palate, and it is. So the nitro is doing its job. So mouthfeel, fantastic, exactly what I expect. Body, maybe a bit thin, but I'm pretty sure I said the same thing about Three Philosophers. I should have looked at my review. I'm a terrible bear tuber. What do you want from me? But yeah, the body's fine, bit thin, fine. Mouthfeel's awesome. Taste, it's actually really nice, and this is one of the rare beers where the nitro is not impeding the enjoyment and like knocking down all the flavors like a lot of beers out there. Very malt driven on the palate. From the palate, it's bready, like a dark brown bread, but then a ton of different fruity characteristics. Dried fruits out the wazoo. A lot of cherry. Again, Bing cherry, black cherry. There is figs, there's dates, there's a little bit of raisin in here. A touch of like a caramel and a toffee, molasses. As it passes through, though, the sweetness kind of starts to dissipate, and I'm starting to get like a spicy clove, coriander. I would say more of like a cinnamon allspice as well. That's all produced from the yeast. There's an underlying like a bubblegum type of yeast ester. The phenols are really producing the spiciness. On the finish, it leans a little bit sweeter than I remember Three Philosophers being, but it has like a semi to full-on dry finish, mildly bitter, but it is a little bit sweeter than I remember. And I don't know if that's just the nitro or maybe just my palate has changed since the last time I had Three Philosophers. I don't know. Just a little bit sweeter, more decadent, more desserty, but not like full-on dessert. 9.7%, fuck you, fuck me, fuck all of us. Because this does not taste like 9.7%. That's fucking absurd that this is almost 10%. I forgot about it. Yeah, and I just read it like 3 minutes ago. I said 9.1. I was like, wait, it's 9.7. There's a little warming in the chest, nothing to indicate 10%. Like on the palate, zero astringency, zero booze, zero indications this is 10%. Outside of the body, and even the body being a bit thin, I'd guess like 8 max. So this hides the alcohol extremely well. Okay, one more sip. And I was going to do a side-by-side with the base Three Philosophers, but then I said, I don't need to drink 2 almost 10% beers. And I've had Three Philosophers so many times that I should know if I enjoy this one better than the base. Here's the thing. The nitro adds a dimension to the beer that enhances the enjoyability of this beer from a sipping standpoint. What I just said is a bunch of bullshit. Even as I said it, I was like, man, you trying to sound smart and you're not? Yeah, I know. No, but in all seriousness, the nitro just adds that smooth, creamy aspect that it's a joy to drink. And I don't get that same affinity for Three Philosophers from just drinking the beer. Like, I think maybe the taste profile is a little bit more intense. Maybe it's a little bit more impactful, but I think the nitro version is more enjoyable just to drink. So I think I like this a little bit more. I think I give regular Three Philosophers in the 4 range. I'm going to go a little bit higher with this one. I think it's because of the nitro itself. Put it this way, if you're a Three Philosophers fan, or if you're not, let's say Three Philosophers, you don't like it because maybe it's too carbonated, too bubbly, too spritzy, too intense, try this out. The nitro tones down everything a little bit, still very cohesive in general, but the nitro gives you that smooth, creamy mouthfeel that you're looking for out of a nitro beer, and it enhances the overall enjoyability of this beer. For me personally, I would love to know if that's the same for you. And I want to also mention, before we go to price and availability, that this is the newest offering into their year-round lineup. So if you see Three Philosophers, you should see this at some point. Maybe you already saw it. And this is year-round, so you'll continue to see it. So anyway, price point availability. Did I fucking rate it yet? No. Why is this such a terrible review? Am I already hammered from a couple beers that are in my glass? Because this is basically the equivalent of 2 beers, and I've drank maybe one. Nah, I'm probably like a half of one. I'm a lightweight nowadays. I'm just fucking horrible with everything when it comes to beer in general, but I'm a definite lightweight. I cannot handle my beer anymore. Anyway, Nitro Three Philosophers from Brewery Ommegang. Absolutely no issues. Giving this a high 4 out of 5. I'm going to go 4.1. I think if I give the regular 4, I got to give this a little bit higher just because of the nitro. It's a really good quadruple ale that the nitro actually adds a dimension that I did not think I would enjoy as much as I do. Price point availability. Think this is like $15.99, $16.99 a 4-pack. I paid $4 something for that can, like $4.39, $4.49. I forget what regular Three Philosophers, probably in the same realm. Maybe I think maybe slightly cheaper. Maybe it is like 14, 15 bucks. So it's nitro. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. I'm fine with it. It's fantastic. And this is a beer you could drink a couple of. You'd be feeling good. Or like me being a lightweight, you drink a half of one, you're already hammered. So I think the price point is fine. And availability, I have no idea. Like I said, it's year-round. It's Brewery Ommegang. If you see Ommegang stuff, you see Three Philosophers, you see some of their seasonals and their limited releases, you should easily see this one. And I'm glad I picked it up. I wasn't going to, but I was like, you know what? I got to review it. I've reviewed so many different Three Philosophers, and I'm happy I did. 4.1 out of 5. And I can't thank everybody enough for the continued support on the channel. If you've had this one before, post in the comment section. The best part about the channel is the interaction, the comments, back and forth. I've made so many great friends through the beer tubing community. So many kind individuals sending beer to review and wanting to hear my opinion, which kind of blows my mind. And it's just so cool. And beers like this, spark interest because a lot of people can get their hands on them. And, then you get a back and forth going on. And it's awesome. It's just awesome. So anyway, post in the comment section if you had this one before. I probably should have done this side by side, but imagine me drinking this with a regular one. I'd be fucking in the dirt somewhere. Like halfway through this review, I'd be over here sleeping because fuck me. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers. Did I mention that while this is sweet, it maybe leans a little bit sweet, it's not too sweet? Yeah, I did. Probably like 3 minutes ago and I forgot. Yeah, no, because I'm already fucking feeling it. Yeah, no, okay. Cheers.